Hi, I'm going to show you how to make a great heat and light source that'll burn for a long time out of Crisco. Now, with all the catastrophes that have been going on around the world, especially here, even near home, in Texas and Missouri and Louisiana, so many people were injured and even lost their lives because they were unprepared. Even up here in Maine, we lost power this winter about 3 times. The first time was a huge blizzard and we weren't ready. Believe me, the other 2 times we were. So one thing you can be sure of is the power will go out. But will you be ready? I'm here today and on this channel not only to help you to get ready, but to have some fun with it. Hoo-hoo! Even though there's going to be a power outage, there's not much difference between roughing it and having a camping outing. Matter of fact, if you have kids, you can make it a fun time rather than a scary time. So all you need to do to get ready is to go to your local grocery store and pick up a few things. One of the first things is Crisco. Now, if you look really close, Crisco right over here above the eye, do you see that flame? That kind of tells you what Crisco was initially designed for. And we're going to use that by creating candles first. This candle here was made out of Crisco. Look at that. You could even carry it around. I call it my German beer candle. Well, we won't sip on that. It's a really hot drink. And we're going to talk about this one here. This is a ball one. Now, all I did to create these is I opened the Crisco. And you can see I already have this one going. I opened the Crisco and put it in here. Now there's several ways you can do it. Number one, you can take it, put it in a container and put it in the microwave, melt it, so then you can pour it in. But I don't have a microwave on this side of the house. And my wife doesn't let me take all my stuff on her side of the house. So what I use is my little hot plate and a pot. And I melted it and just poured it right in. In fact, you don't know if you could really see the top of the beer one. I poured it in so fast it made bubbles and it actually looks like beer. All right, just a little fun aside. So once it's solidified, to get a candle inside, you take the candle, you measure it right about there, and then you just cut the candle at about the right place with a knife or some heavy-duty scissors like I got here. There we go, we got those all cut up. And see that? It's just the right size. Then what you do is you just find the middle. Whoa! Okay, find the middle and push it right down. This one here, I did not give it enough time to solidify. It's still kind of liquidy inside, as you can see. So we had a little explosion, which I want to try to pick up before it gets too much of a mess. It's great when you do these videos. I don't know if I'm going to edit this out or not, but those little experiments where the Crisco pops out at you and goes, surprise! But that will solidify shortly, and that's all you do. And once you get that, all you need to do is grab your lighter and light her up. How long will these burn? Well, there's a lot of controversy in that area. I've done research. I've seen so many different people that say so many different things. The problem is we don't really know of anyone who has actually taken one and burned it, especially one with a whole container like this, which is said to burn for 72 days. Okay, there's the controversy. 72 days, some people say 24 hours a day, some people say 8 hours a day, and I've heard some just recently say 72 days on a 6-pound container, because this is the 3-pound. We have a 3-pound and a 1-pound. So the thing is, how long will it burn? For a long time. But like I said, no one's really burnt it for 72 days that I know of. And if you have, please let me know so we could set the record straight. Videotape it so we could prove it, all right? So the thing is, whether it burns for 8 hours a day or whether it's 24 hours a day, 72 days is a long time. But do you need it for 8 hours a day? Realistically, it gets dark at about maybe 5 or 6 o'clock. And if you go to bed at about 10, let's see, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that's 4 hours. You don't need 8 hours a day. You're not going to have a candle running in the daytime, and you don't want it running overnight because these should never be left unattended. And where it comes to burn time, it also depends on the little things like the thickness of the wick or even the length of the wick. So a lot of things can determine it. Now, if you want to use these for heat, here's a great way of doing it. What I would use is, this is the 1 pound container. It doesn't matter whether you use a Crisco brand or you use the store brand. It's vegetable shortening. That's all that matters. So we take the top of this off. Now you're saying, uh-oh, he's just going to open another one, make another candle? No, I need to go to the gym before I can open this thing. There we go. No, I'm not making another candle. I'm actually using this as the candle. Uh-oh. So this one here, I'm going to use, we already used that candle. Here's some smaller candles I got. That's just about the right size. I'm not even going to cut it. So I'm going to push this right down the middle. And you're saying, is he going to burn it right in there? Yes, I am. And I'm going to discuss that with you in just a moment. I'm cutting the wick down because it's a little bit too long. There we go. And we're going to light that up. All right, so for heat, what you're going to do is I'm going to show you how to make what they call radiant heat. So I have the candle. Now I want something metal-ish to be able to radiate the heat with. So, oh, look what I have. I also got this at Walmart. I think they're about $5, $6. It's a utensil holder with holes. See that? Even has holes on the bottom. All you need to do is you have this. Now, if you're afraid of burning your table, you can put it in some kind of a terracotta plate or anything, a sheet of metal or a baking tray, and then take this and put it on top. Isn't that pretty? And then just take a terracotta bowl or a plant pot and put it on top. Now, some people like to cover it up, and I had something to cover it a minute ago. Here we go. You can put a quarter on top of there or something, or you can put another plate on top, and I'm going to put a crab claw cover. Now, what am I doing with this? Well, sometimes if I have like a fuel with maybe 2 or 3 candles, it gets hot enough to get my heat-powered fan going, and I actually sit that on top of here. Okay, matter of fact, already I can feel the warmth starting. So there's one option to make yourself a radiant heater. Isn't that cool? Now, another option is if you want to use something bigger, we'll leave that one burning for a little while. We'll put it right over here. How about if we use this candle and try to make it with this one? So we have that one there. Now you just need something to be able to elevate it to get the terracotta pot on. So I have this here. I actually got this on Amazon. This is what the scientists, the mad scientists use. They put their beakers on there and it heats it up and they make these mad brews. So I'll have a link to this if you want to. Whoa, something's going here. Oh, look at that. That popped already. Boy, that scared me. Let's take that off for a second. Ooh, that's getting warm already too. So now if you have this here, all you got to do is take the terracotta pot, it's still cool on the side, and put that over here. So now you've got one that's going to burn an awful lot longer because that's a much bigger candle. That's all there is to it. I'd like to give you all the scientific terms. You got to do this, you got to do that, but basically candle, elevation, pot, and cover the hole with a quarter, with another plate, with a crab cover, crab claw cover. You know what happened to the crab claws, right? Damn good. So there's your second option for a stove. So any way you can elevate it. Now what if you don't have either one of these things? Oh, you're making it tough for me, but I'll show you even a third option. Let's take this one apart for now and put this down over here. A third option. Now this is something you probably already have around your home. Are you ready? Ta-da! Window adjusters. Excuse me. Take the bricks, put them on both sides. Take the terracotta pot, put it right over there. It works the same way. The pot absorbs the heat and sends it out into the room. Thing is this going to heat up your house? Answer to that, no. It's not going to heat up a whole house in a power outage. It's just one candle. But what it will do is it will make the difference between you freezing to death and keeping you warm. So let's say you have the power outage, your wood stove is out of wood, you don't have any more propane, there's nothing left to do. I have my Crisco. Okay, so that would be enough to heat up a very small room, just enough to make it comfortable. So I'm talking about maybe your bathroom, a closet. Now, if there's a family and you can get all in a small room huddling together, each person, when they're relaxed, their body puts off about 100 watts of heat. And when they're excited and exercising, it's about 200 watts. So the extra body heat will help as well. So we're talking a small room, like I said, a bathroom, a closet, or what a lot of people do is they get a small tent, put a small little camping tent in probably one of the small rooms. You get in the tent and you put that in there. It'll make a difference. Now, if it's not an emergency and you're just using it like this here, okay, it's really nice to just have something to put your hands around. Ooh, this is nice and warm already. Put your hands around and warm up your hands on a cool night. So it's a game changer, really. It costs very little. You're looking at probably under $5, maybe $10 top if you have to get the pot. And you have something that'll give you heat and give you light for days and days and days. Now, that brings me to the big questions. Okay, there's a lot of questions people have had when I've done similar things to this in the past. Matter of fact, if you want to look at one of my past videos, I have a video where I compared different kinds of terracotta pots with tea lights and other things. Matter of fact, I did them in this room and the next room, so you'll see that. But people ask a lot of questions like, is my house going to smell like French fries? Okay, they think the house is going to smell like grease. I actually don't smell anything. Actually, I'm starting to smell orange a little bit. Why? Because I got this at Walmart, some sweet orange aromatherapy oils, essential oils. So you can get different kinds of essential oils. This is orange. I love orange smell. This one here is eucalyptus. So in the winter, if you're having a cold or a sniffle, put some drops of eucalyptus in there. It helps to spread that smell throughout the house and open up your sinuses. So no, it's not a bad smell. Second question you get a lot of, will it put off soot? Okay, well, if you don't cut down the wick, yes. This one's wick was a little bit longer, but before I actually got on, I cut it down. This one, you actually saw me cut it down. If I didn't, and I lit it up, you'd start seeing a little bit of soot, not soot, you'll start seeing a little soot coming up, okay? And as they're going also, as they melt down, if you see that it's starting to get any kind of soot at all, just blow them out, cut the wick a little shorter, and that'll go away. Next question I get all the time is, will it put off carbon monoxide? I get that all the time. You're going to have carbon monoxide all over the place. Folks, anything that has a flame puts off carbon monoxide, okay? So yes, it will put up, there we go, break it in a new tongue. It will put off carbon monoxide, but not enough to really affect anything. But for safety, you should always have a carbon monoxide detector. Oops, mine's on the other side of that door, sorry, but it goes off pretty easily. You need to have that handy. Make it a battery operated one in case you lose power. You need to have a fire extinguisher handy. I have a couple fire blankets in case the fire gets a little out of hand, and a regular fire alarm as well. So bottom line, it'll give you plenty of light. It's very nice. This one even has a handle so I can walk around the house at nighttime. Kind of like the Legend of Sleepy Hollow. And don't forget, it's a candle, and take a drink out of it. But it's better than having nothing at all. You have some heat, a little heat for a small space, and you have light. One of the big questions I get a lot, people are always asking me, what about this container? Will the outsides, will the wall of it burn if the candle gets too close to it? Well, first of all, if you look at it, you can see how far the candle is away from the wall. For the most part, it doesn't really touch the outside. It doesn't get that hot. But just in case it did, let's say your wick got really long for some reason, you would see the inside of the container starting to bubble. So yes, if it gets saturated, it can ignite. What you can do, Again, they should never be left unattended at all. All you need to do is to cut it down. Let's make a hole right here. Just go around and cut it just like this. So if you keep it trimmed, it won't burn because the heat is going to stay towards the center. And it takes a while for this thing to melt down. But I've seen this guy, a gentleman that lives out of his vehicle, and he burns these things round the clock for heat. In a small vehicle, I believe he had an ambulance. It keeps them very warm. And this is what he does. He just keeps on cutting them down and cutting them down. So there's not a problem. As it gets a little lower, you don't have to use that. You can just take scissors. Same thing, just keep on cutting. It's just cardboard. Look how it cuts. Now it has like an aluminum coating on the inside. And of course that helps it as well. But I was testing it earlier today when I was going to light it up with my torch, and I was actually melting Crisco off the side of it so I could get it down just to show this to you. And what happened is it didn't light up, but it started to bubble. So if you see any bubbling, go ahead and stop. And then once you're all ready, all you have to do is go ahead and light it up. There we go. It's like having a brand new candle again. So remember, this is an emergency candle. So if you're in an emergency and you haven't had a chance to put it into a glass jar or even a can, you can put it in a tin can, and you have to do it this way, it's an emergency. Go ahead and do it. You're not going to leave the flame unattended. You're going to be watching it. And if you need to do it for a long time, because maybe you don't have a jar to put it in, all right, just keep watching it. You can go pretty much most of the way down and just keep on cutting it. I would kind of throw it away and start with another one before you get down here, but hey, you're a couple months into it by then anyway, right? So I hope that helps clean up that situation. If you found any of this helpful, could you please click on that subscribe button as a way of saying thank you and showing your support, because it will help my channel to grow, and I really appreciate it. Now for the fun part, if you've used this kind of Crisco candle before during a shortage yourself, please let me know in the comments below and tell me how it worked out for you. I love to read comments, and I'll try to get back to as many of you as I can. So, thank you for watching. I appreciate you being there, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye now.